This video, we're going to be talking about how to combine like terms. So these problems would be like those in 6.1, numbers 11 through 29 odd. Meaning 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, and 29. So we're going to start off with 9w plus 2w. And what we're going to do is, because these are both in terms of w to the first power, we are going to add their, or subtract if there's a subtraction sign, but in this case there's addition. We're going to add the numerical coefficients, and we're going to keep that w to the first power on the outside. 9 plus 2 is 11w. We can only add the things that have the same variable to the same power. Those are called like terms. So in this next example, I have a negative 5x plus 8x minus 8. So these two things are like terms because they're both x to the first power, but the minus 8 over here is not like them because it doesn't have any x on it, so I can't add it to these other two terms. So I'm going to have to keep the negative 5 plus 8x, and then minus 8 just stays by itself. Negative 5 plus 8 is going to be 3, so that's going to be a 3x minus 8, and that's simplified. We can't do anything more with that. Now they're going to give me x's and y's in the same expression, and I'm going to have to add my x's to my x's, my y's to my y's. So 3x minus 8y minus 6x plus 3y. And I'm going to use my commutative property of addition here, one of my properties of real numbers, to say that this is going to be, let's rewrite my subtraction as addition of a negative first before I do this, because this commutative property is really a property of addition. So I'm going to take 3x plus a negative 6x plus negative 8y plus 3y. And then I'm going to write this as 3 plus a negative 6x plus a negative 8 plus 3y. 3 plus a negative 6 is a negative 3x. Negative 8 plus 3 is a negative 5y. And so this is negative 3x minus 5y. Let's look at this one. 2x plus 5y plus 2 minus 2y minus 9x minus 4. So let's get my parts with my x's together. 2x, and I'm just going to bring this minus 9x together with it, plus 5y, and bring this minus 2y together with it, plus, and then 2 minus 4. And you saw how subtraction was addition of a negative, and I can move them around and then change the addition of a negative back to subtraction. So that's really what I'm doing in these steps. I did that in the last problem, and I just am not showing all that because as long as I keep the sign with the term, I can move the terms around, but I have to keep the sign with the term. So 2 minus 9 is a negative 7x, and a 5 minus 2 is a positive 3y, and a 2 minus 4 is a negative 2. And if a term is negative, when I'm adding it, it's going to be subtraction. And if a term is positive, when I'm adding it, it's going to be addition. Now we're going to move on and we're going to see some terms that have different powers than one another. So in this next one, we have 6x that's squared or to the second power plus 4x plus 3 minus 4x squared minus 7x minus 8. So I'm only going to be able to add the x squared terms together. And the x terms together. And the terms that are what we call constants together. Constants have no variable part. 6 minus 4 is 2. 4 minus 7 is a negative 3. 3 minus 8 is a negative 5. All right. Scroll on down here a little bit. Now I have 3 times the quantity, which means that there's a set of parentheses there. Y plus 4, close that parenthesis, plus 6 times the quantity of y minus 2, and close that parenthesis, plus 5. We're going to have to use our distributive property here to multiply this 3 across these parentheses and the 6 across these parentheses. So 3 times y is a 3y, and 3 times a positive 4 is a positive 12. Positive 6 times y is a 6y, and a positive 6 times a negative 2 is a negative 12. And we've got another plus 5 on the end here. So we're going to group our like terms together. 3y plus 6y, those are like terms. Plus, and then I have 12 minus 12 plus 5. Those are all like terms. 3 plus 6 is 9. Y. 12 minus 12 is 0, and 0 plus 5 is a positive 5. All right. Now we're going to start working with some decimals. 5 3/10 n plus 6 47/100 minus 4 8/10 n. We're going to have to group our n terms together. 5 3/10 n minus 4 8/10 n plus the 6 47/100 off to the side is going to give me 5/10 n plus 6 47/100. The next problem, they're going to give us some fractions. 5/6 x plus 1/12 x minus 5. So they've already grouped things together for us that the x's are together, But now we need to make common denominators before we can add these fractions. So I'm going to have to multiply here by 2 over 2 to make us have a common denominator of 12. So that's going to be 10 over 12x plus 1 over 12x minus 5 is going to give me 11 over 12x minus 5. We cannot always easily convert back and forth from fractions to decimals. If they give you the problem in fractions, work the problem in fraction form. If they give you the problem in decimal form, work the problem in decimal form. We don't try and convert fractions to decimals and maybe round and then convert back because we're going to have rounding error in our problem. We would work our problem as fractions so that we get the exact answer. So now we want 8/10 times x plus 5 in parentheses plus 1 and 8/10 times x minus 4 in parentheses. And we're going to simplify and combine our like terms. So this is going to be 8/10 x plus 4. 5 times 8/10 is 40/10 or 4.0. Go ahead and write that so that you see it. That's the same thing as 4 plus 1 and 8/10 x minus, and when I multiply this, this is 7 and 2/10. So we're going to add our x parts together, 8/10 x plus 1 and 8/10 x. And we're going to add these parts together that were 4 and 0/10 minus 7 and 2/10. So this is going to be 2 and 6/10 x. And then this is going to be a negative 3 and 2/10. I have one more, but I'm going to give myself plenty of space for this one. It's got some fractions in it. This is 1/4 times the quantity, x plus 24, plus 1/12 times the quantity of x plus 24. Now, because the x plus 24s are the same, I could just add the 1/4 and the 1/12, but I'm not going to do that because that's probably not how you'd think about this problem at first. So I'm going to deal with 1/4 times x is going to be 1/4 x, and 1/4 of 24 is 6. 1/12 of x is 1/12 x, and 1/12 of 24 is 2. Now let's get my x parts together. And let's get my constants together, my variable parts and my constant parts. And I'm going to need to multiply this by 3 over 3 to make a common denominator, that this is going to be 3/12 x plus 1/12 x plus 6 plus 2 is 8. So this is going to be 4/12 x plus 8. 4 divides into 12 evenly 3 times. So this is 1/3 x plus 8. All right, that's it for this video. And next time we will come back and use the order of operations to evaluate expressions. So evaluate means find the value of. So they're going to give us a value for this variable x. They're going to ask us to plug that in and come out with a numerical answer for this expression when x is equal to a particular value, or y is equal to a particular value, or whatever the variable is equal to a particular value. So we'll come back next time and talk about evaluating those expressions using the order of operations. See you for the next video.